What is going on, everybody? We are now live here on the YouTube channel. We're also live over on Twitch. What is going on? Hope all is well with all of you. It is Thursday, September 19th, 2024. And if you are new to the Around the Point Network YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button down below. Give this video a big old thumbs up. Share with all your wrestling friends out there and all through social media. Hit the bell notification so you be notified whenever it is that we go live here on the channel. As always, I am Steve, and I am not alone. I am not alone here. I'm here joined by the good brother from beautiful California, the one, the only Chase Oliver. Chase, what's going on, brother? How are you, man?
Good, Steve. A little bit tired, but I'm doing good today.
Oh man, okay. But yeah, normally we would do sad, but I just felt like just keeping the sad background just for just for the sake, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we would normally do sad today, but reality is Dynamite last night. Oh my goodness, Dynamite last night was very underwhelming episode, to say the least. And honestly, I just did not have, and I'm sure you as well, I did not really feel like reviewing the show. You know,
Not really. It was a subpar episode. Like some good matches. So the best segment was Moxley's segment, but other than that, nothing else I really want to like talk about, to be honest. And
yeah.
there's other topics in AEW that are way more interesting and intriguing to talk about than Dynamite of last night. Just to be honest.
Yeah. The rating last night was 687,000 for those of you
Mm.
that were wondering. But yeah, I'm with you on this one too, man. I felt like there was some stuff just like the Moxley attacking Private Party and Darby Allin, all that stuff. And I thought that was good. Um, but outside of that, again, this is the go home show to Grand Slam next week.
Yeah.
They're in Arthur Ashe, and you know, that show always felt the last couple of years like a big show. And this year, it's like, yeah, we're just throwing a dynamite. It just so happens to be in a tennis stadium, that hosts, the U.S. Open, which is a very big, important tennis event,
Yeah.
here in the country, for that matter, right? And now we're just putting something, whatever. We'll talk about that as well later on. But the big news this week is what's going on with this TV deal with AEW, this reported TV deal with Warner Brother Discovery. We've been hearing about this for months now, right? It feels like every single week you're just wanting to hear it official. At this point, it's like, bro, just get it over with.
Yeah.
Let us just tell us what it is, and dun dun, there you go. But the word going around, it's that they're sticking around with Warner Brother Discovery. It's a 4-year deal, 3 guaranteed and 1 optional for 170 million per year. When you hear that, Chase, what goes through your mind, bro? Like,
Uh, Very solid number, I would say. Very good for AEW. Very great for Warner, who just lost the NBA. Look, the Warner didn't want to lose NBA and AEW in 1 year. That would have looked really, really bad on them, and it doesn't look good for them because they just recently made a TV deal with the Mountain West Conference in college football, and about a year from now, that conference is probably not going to be as strong as it is now because 4 of the current teams are already committed to reform with the Pac-12 that is being reformed, and that's on the CW. So, or looking to maybe partner with the CW, which is also a branch of Warner. But True TV is something that Warner uses during March Madness, and they want to make that more of a sports centric channel. That's like kind of like their main thing. I think the big W for AEW here is that they didn't give up everything to Warner. Originally, we were hearing that they were going to give everything to Warner, every TV show, any content they produce, and Warner was going to get an incredible price for, at the time, 3 wrestling shows. Any reality TV show that AEW wanted to do, they would have to produce it under Warner and everything. But now AEW really only sacrificed a Dynamite and Collision, and it looks like what it's leaning towards is Dynamite's going to still stay on Wednesday nights, and it's going to be the flagship show on TBS. And that True TV aspect, I feel Collision might move there on Thursdays, There's nothing that would preempt Collision to be moved until March, which is March Madness. Because if they go Thursdays on TNT, that competes with the NHL schedule that they have, and then sometimes the baseball schedule when they get into playoff baseball. So I don't think TNT would be the move for Collision. I think Collision would move to True TV. And not only that, we still don't know where the pay-per-views are going, and if that's part of the deal with the pay-per-views, where if the pay-per-views are going to be, exclusively on Max, and if that's included in the deal. But they're now talking to Fox, potentially getting a Shockwave show that everyone is suggesting, getting Shockwave onto FS1, and that would probably be like a $15 million to $25 million contract, where Fox will pretty much decide if they want to keep it year in and year out. So it's good because now AEW, they're kind of dipping their toes into different media realms. They're not like settling with just being tied in with Warner. They're building relationships with Fox, and that right there could help them out, especially further down the line when they do, in the 3 years that after this deal is done, they may have built a better relationship where they could ultimately leave, Warner and maybe go to a Fox full time or maybe another company, because executives for these companies, they change places so quick. But building relationships is good. And, having shows being able to, kind of be on different platforms, I think is good. So I think AEW, it's a win for them. And, maybe you wanted the money to be a little bit higher, but ultimately it's a win for them because now they're not just tied down to Warner. They're able to negotiate TV elsewhere, which was my biggest fear with the AEW deal. Like, yeah, you may get paid a lot more money, but now you're just tied with Warner. Now you can't even make relationships. Now you can't even pitch a show outside of Warner. Any show that you pitch is going to go through Warner. Doesn't seem like it's the case. Looks like it's the death of Rampage. Rampage will probably be gone and be replaced by Shockwave. So, and that's fine. Rampage had a good start and then had some great moments. First Stance was obviously there. Christian Cage and Kenny Omega. They've obviously had their moments, Rampage, but it's just been one of those shows that just hasn't been able to connect at that Friday night time slot. And, if it's going to do numbers like that on Friday nights, you might as well just do another show like a Shockwave, who, like, let's just be real, FS1, that's a horrible channel. It just is. It's a horrible channel. I know people are going to make fun of the ratings no matter what. They'll see the Shockwave ratings, be like, oh, you see what they did on FS1. And it's like, guys, FS1 is just bad in general. Like, they don't get anyone to watch their shows. Like, the first year Fox launched FS1 and FS2, they went heavy into content and they canceled most of the shows that they were doing on there. They had a show with Regis Philbin, for fuck's sakes, and they canceled that. They canceled their own version of Sports Center. They canceled their own NFL show, and which is crazy to think Fox canceled their NFL show when the NFL is one of Fox's big money getters during the football season, and people weren't watching it enough for them to cancel that. So Fox just doesn't have a great track record of keeping shows on that channel. And if you can get a live sport like AEW professional wrestling and it draws in 100,000, 200,000 people, that's a win if you're FS1. That's a huge win. They don't get 100,000, 200,000 like that. So huge win for them. So
of course, yeah, it's a huge win. And like like you said moments ago, the fact that they are now, dipping their toes on other networks. It felt like for so long, right? Tony has been just loyal to Warner Brother Discovery. Like, we heard reports a while back that CW was interested in having Ring of Honor a while back, and he turned them down because of his loyalty to Warner Brother Discovery. And also another thing too, like you said, we don't know what's going to happen with the pay-per-views. Are they going to move to Max? And if they do move to Max, are they going to follow the WWE formula where you don't pay, again, you just pay the fee for the service of Max, or will they go the UFC route with ESPN Plus, where you pay for the service of ESPN Plus, but also you got to fork over the $50 for
not even 50 anymore. It's like 75.
75. But you get what I'm saying? Like, again, for AEW, PLE pay-per-views, Ring of Honor pay-per-views as well. But I think Ring of Honor may just stick with Honor Club which I think is
Yeah,
safe scenario.
I don't think Ring of Honor, I know people were saying, oh, would Ring of Honor go on True TV? I think True TV wants to keep a familiarity, and Collision is a familiar show. And, I honestly, for my opinion, this is my opinion. I don't have any sources. I'm just saying, I think Warner did Collision a disservice by putting it on Saturday. I understood the idea because UFC went exclusively to ESPN Plus on Saturday. So if you're a Warner executive or someone thinking that there, there is something to this combat sports niche at this time, it was just when the announcement Collision was coming out, it was the CM Punk show. So everyone was like, oh, this is where we're exclusively going to see CM Punk. And then you debut it during the midst of the college football season. You don't wait until college football is over. It was just, oh no, let's announce this Collision show right away during the heavy college football season. So you never really got people to really tune in and watch the show on a consistent basis. And then people just literally felt Collision was just a fancier Rampage. Like they didn't feel like there was any really meaningful, impactful storylines happening. I mean, Collision has put on some great bangers, some great matches. But after Punk left the company, it was kind of like that brand. It was still going somewhat decent, and then it kind of sputtered down. And every so often, you would get like an FTR versus Bullet Club Gold in there, or a match that is can't miss on the show that you would go back and watch. But it hasn't been consistent. But even then, I do think that's on Warner the way they rolled it out. I don't really blame AEW too much for that. I blame that more on Warner because I think they looked at it. They said, hey, Saturdays are free now for combat sports. People want something like that because the UFC was doing good numbers at that time on Saturday nights, and they would go against college football games and everything of that nature, and they would still pull a strong like 800K to 1 million viewership. And we saw with the starter Collision, they were doing pretty solid with like 500K to 700K. But now it's just at the point where like people,
200,000.
And it's the time slot too, because the UFC was starting later. It was starting, at the 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So like by that time, all the major college games are either wrapping up or there's not really a big game left anymore. So you're at the end of the night. You either decide, do I watch this Pac-12 after dark game, or do I watch some dudes beat each other up in the UFC? I'll go watch this UFC fight. They have some crazy guy named Korean Zombie fighting, and
Sure.
AEW's Collision was starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's the primetime ESPN game where it's always a big SEC matchup. ABC will probably have a big ACC or big top 25 matchup there. And then sometimes Fox will have a big matchup in that time slot. Sometimes CBS will have a big time matchup. And since the CBS picked up the Big Ten, most likely it would be a Big Ten matchup now compared to what the SEC that they had in the past. So you're putting Collision at one of the worst possible time slots for it to succeed, because I'm sorry, on a Saturday when there's like these big college football games, it's not going to get views. And I just think the way they announce and put Collision, I think that I blame that mostly on Warner. I don't really blame AEW, but I can see where Warner maybe was thinking, like, if I was someone as an executive at Warner or working the TV, looking at the data, comparing UFC to AEW, there's some crossover appeal with the fan base, thinking that this could be a good live television show, because one, you're going to make more money off that show than you're going to get rerunning the Avengers for the 50th time. Like, you can only show the Avengers so many times free on TV. And, who wants to see the commercial version of the Avengers when people probably already have Disney Plus, which is one of the better streaming platforms out there, and can watch it without the commercial. So, yeah, I mostly blame Warner for why Collision had a bad just a bad rep in general for most wrestling fans, because they put it at a bad time slot and they released it during a time where they knew people weren't going to be watching that much. And then once CM Punk left the company, it just kind of went downhill, because it was just known as like fancier Rampage. Oh, the trios titles will be built there. that was pretty
Some
much
Ring
it.
of
Like,
Honor feuds here and there.
yeah, some Ring of Honor feuds, some smaller end feuds. Like, don't get me wrong, they'll have Collision will have good matches. Like, not too long ago, they had a good match with Deonna Purrazzo and Thunder Rosa. You will see some good action on Collision. I'm not saying Collision doesn't provide good wrestling, but it's just one of those things that I feel it's like you're not giving a reason for people to watch Collision because it just feels like Rampage, you know?
Yes, and also 9 times out of 10, it's not always live.
Yes.
Like it used to be. Like every Saturday used to be live. Now it's sometimes just pre-taped.
Yeah.
And it just feels like, okay, I already read the results online. Someone already posted it. There's no point in me really going back to watch it. You know what I mean? As
And then
well.
you're also competing with, like, when WWE, when they changed their PLEs to go on Saturdays, you're competing with a live event of a bigger magnitude. Like, I don't care what anyone says. Like, if WWE is running a show on Saturday and it's just a regular show, and AEW is running the pay-per-view, I'm watching the pay-per-view first because pay-per-views and PLEs are way more important than like a regular weekly show. So I just think Saturday just ended up being bad. And it also would conflict with them because how many times was it like AEW would run a Saturday pay-per-view and you're just like, whoa, what about Collision? And then Collision would be in that death sentence with Rampage, and it would be 3 hours of AEW wrestling, but there is nothing to differentiate it.
And God forbid, Uncle Danny decides to have a UFC pay-per-view, right? And then stack up that prelim card with like some banger fights, and then it's like shit, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna watch Collision or are you gonna watch this stacked prelim card with a stacked main event? I'm watching, the UFC prelim and then watch the pay-per-view. Again, read some comments here about what's going on. What's going on, Armand? Hey, everyone. Armand writes here, if Shockwave is not a multi-year deal with Fox, it could be possible that it goes to True TV at some point. Yeah, it's very possible.
Yeah. And like the thing with the Fox, so Fox is always going to want to buy content. They want it for like this is what people need to understand when it comes to live TV right now. Sports are always going to get a lot of money. Wrestling is always going to get money. When you heard people come on saying that AEW was not going to get a TV deal, like they obviously don't know how TV works or ever worked in TV. Hi, my name is Chase Oliver. I've done some TV before. I've helped with TV shows, actual TV shows, not live TV shows that go on NBC, CBS. So I kind of know a little bit when it comes to the production side of things of television and what networks are kind of looking for. That's where my basis is on. That's why I said, hey, I have no sources, but I do have knowledge of what metrics you look at and stuff. And when it comes to live television, for them, so like people need to understand when you produce those TV shows, like I'm just going to throw Young Sheldon as an example. Didn't work on it. I'm just throwing it as an example. Young Sheldon costs a lot more money than a weekly episode of Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown or AEW because you got to pay talent and actors for that show. Does the actor have any past experience? Are we going to syndicate this show to other sister channels or other channels that may be interested in this? So you got to work out a lot of details, and then production, sets. Are you doing this with a live audience or are you doing it with a pre-made laugh track? Sometimes they will do it with a live audience. Like a lot of people say, oh, those laughs must be fake. No, there is a live audience, and sometimes they will just tell them to laugh, and they will edit and post if they want to get these laughs out. Like what goes behind the scenes of producing a TV show of that nature is totally different. And then when you look at like a show like CSI or that's been around forever, that's an expensive show too. There's a lot of things that are going on. Hey, most of the time you're filming on location. You're not filming at a studio. You're filming on location. You're trying to make it feel like that they're in New Orleans, even though they're not in New Orleans. They're probably in Canada. California. Yeah, they're probably in Canada pretending it's New Orleans, but they're filming on location. You got to get a lot of props, blood, a fake body. You got to do a lot of stuff, and so those shows cost a lot of money for networks to operate. That's why, like I don't know, Steve, how familiar you were, but TNT before, they were a drama station. They were showing their own original shows. Animal Kingdom was one of their big hit shows that they had. And so when you're producing those shows, you're losing money producing those shows because if you get an actor on that show and that actor's rate is really, really high, you got to pay that actor his rate. And and the ratings may not reflect anything at all. Like you may say, oh, the ratings don't reflect the quality of the show and stuff. And so that's why when it comes to wrestling, they're always gonna unless I don't know how anyone thought AEW couldn't get a TV deal when TNA has been around for how
So
long on fucking
and
television.
and it got to a point now, like, bro, TNA, when you think about it, right? They were on Fox Sports. Remember that 1 hour back in the day? They went to Spike TV, Destination America, not bad, Destination America, Pop TV, to now they own their own network. The people that own TNA own the network that they're on.
Yeah.
So they were always going to be around. They're forever now. Like, damn, even 20 years was later now. So of course AEW was going to get a TV deal. You had to be a fool if you thought that AEW would not get a TV deal.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, if you didn't think AEW was getting a TV deal, you're just not informed. That's just pretty much it. You don't do your research. You don't ask the right people. You're just going based off some ratings you see every week. Oh, well, they used to do 1.1 million and now they're at 600,000. No way people want to pay for this. Warner would be fools. And it's like,
don't get me wrong, yeah, that's a reflection too. Don't get me wrong. Like, when you go from 1 million to each year like coming down, yeah, that's also something to just keep in mind. But at the end of the day, you're gonna get a TV deal.
Yeah, no, because here's the thing. I'm telling you this right now. I bet you Warner, when they first heard about AEW and they heard AEW was coming in, they grabbed a team together. They broke down the ratings of Raw and SmackDown at that time. Raw was averaging 1.2 to 1.4 million. SmackDown on Fox, which everyone has, 1.9 to 2.1 million. They were just hoping AEW could even get to that level, get to that 1 million level. They overshadowed expectations. People did not expect AEW to get to 1 million at all. And they overshadowed. And Tony Khan, he was trying to be aggressive with it, trying to get a re-up as quick as possible, because Tony Khan knew that those numbers weren't going to last for long. Like, he's he'll make some bad booking decisions, but business wise, he tends to be on the money on some things. And so that's why AEW, where their ratings are at now, this is what probably Warner thought their ratings were going to be the whole time. Keep in mind, the NBA was losing ratings for Warner. Like, I know everyone's like, oh, the NBA. Look at the NBA ratings. You would be shocked at the decline of these ratings. You will be absolutely shocked of the NBA ratings and how they're not as strong as you think they are. Like, and that's why ultimately Warner Brothers Discovery said, and keep in mind, Warner and Discovery just merged. They just combined with each other. When mergers happen, money is tight. They cut a whole movie. They cut a finished superhero movie because they didn't think they would get the return on investment on that movie. So they decided to just scrap it all together. They scrapped other projects because they thought they would be too costly for them. And so that's why Warner, what they decided to do is, we want to get good content for cheap. AEW being good, that is subjective. That's up to you if you think it's good or not. But when you get AEW for a quarter of the price that you would pay for the NBA, you're asking for 2.1 billion, and yes, you'll get 2 games a week during the NBA season, but you're not seeing that money back. You're paying just because the NBA is supposed to make you money, but you're not going to make that money back. So why would you pay for something that you're not going to make your money back on? That, especially after a merger, that makes no sense. And they even said, we don't need the NBA. When he said that, he's just said, we don't want the NBA. He should have said that. We don't want the NBA because it's going to be too damn expensive. The NBA is too damn expensive. And Warner said, even if we keep this, we don't think we're going to make money off this. In fact, we'll probably lose money with the NBA on our televisions because the ratings keep declining. The problem is, a lot of the NBA stuff, especially inside the NBA, you can just see on X nowadays. People post the funny moments on X. People post the highlights on X. Like most of if you do the research, most people consume the NBA on X. The Twitter has been one of the death blows to the ratings for the NBA because that's where more people will see the actual highlights right away. Accounts will post them right away, and so for TNT and Warner, having the NBA does not mean anything for them when they won't make a lot of money off of it. AEW, they will make a profit off of it. So that's why it makes sense. Hey, yeah, let's give AEW a good deal, a cheap deal that we will make money on. And hey, if the money isn't what we thought it was going to be, no harm, no foul. After year 3, we can cut them loose. But let's just say if ratings do increase, interest in AEW does increase, and AEW gets back to 800,000, 900,000, maybe a milli. Oh, look at this. Warner looks like geniuses because then they got a product that averages 800,000 to 1 million, and they're going to make a lot more money than anything else. Like Steve, were you looking up the NBA ratings? Did you ever see the NBA ratings?
I was trying to, but it's like these numbers. I'm not. 1 second here. Let me
look on NBA on TNT ratings. You'll be shocked.
NBA on TNT.
People always get shocked when I tell them this, that the NBA ratings are not that good, and they go, "No, there's no way. NBA is popular," and it's like, yeah, it's popular. It doesn't mean the ratings are good. like that's how it is.
Let me see here. All right, so I put it on Google and TNT NBA and TNT ratings. I guess let me see what site here. This is oh, these are just articles and shit. Just bear with me here. There we go. Let's see here. Let's see here. TNT averaged a 0.6 rating, 909,000 viewers for Mavericks and Knicks. This is from Sports Media Watch, by the way. Ratings fell 22% in viewership, 18% in New York's win versus the Rockets. Okay, it doesn't tell me the year per se, but
you can tell right there that 900,000. Yeah. So Steve, would you rather pay what'd you say, 170 million for 3 years plus a 4?
Yeah, pretty much. Repeat that again. I'm sorry. Repeat that again.
For AEW, it's 170 million, 3 years, but they can add a 4th year, right?
Yeah.
All right. So would you rather pay 17 times 17 is 34. 17 times 3 would be 50, 61, 161, 170, 61. Would you rather pay, 700 odd million for AEW or pay 2.1 billion for the NBA? And those are the ratings you're getting, and they're already decreasing. What would you rather pay for?
AEW.
Exactly. You're going to pay for AEW. It's more profitable. It makes the most sense. It's more profitable. Like, yeah, no, people like people who want AEW not on television, just say you don't want them on TV. That's it.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
It. Don't make up this shit that they're not going to get a new TV deal. They're not going to get, if you said they're not going to get the money you think you're going to get, like, ain't no way they were going to get 1 billion. When I heard this 1 billion,
I didn't know that either.
I was like, there's no way. He would have to like sell something. He would have to sell everything to them. And that makes absolutely no sense. No sense. Course. But you asked about the max thing. I think they're going to go, because this is the one thing a lot of people don't realize. Pay-per-views have been good for AEW. Pay-per-views make a profit for AEW. Pay-per-view models have been dead, but if you can get 100,000 people to buy your pay-per-view, that's a pretty good deal. Pretty good deal. Pretty good. And I think they will go the route of you have to buy Max, and then you have to buy the pay-per-view. And they're going to end contracts with all the European. They're going to try to get it on whatever the European Max is. You're going to have to go on that.
Yeah.
They're going to make sure they're going to make their money at the end of the day.
Like, I'm aware as well, like, because we've seen people online, oh, it's already here. But yeah, it's on France stuff. It's in Paris. Like in France, Mac, you can get AEW programming, just not here yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So At the end of the day, it's a win for AEW. They're getting this TV deal. They're gonna get their money, and at the end of the day, I think people just need to just accept it. It's not going anywhere. Do you see the last? Do you see this as a last chance opportunity for AEW with this deal? Whereas if the numbers stay the same or go lower, they may want to move on.
Mm, I don't for with Warner. If it's with Warner, maybe, but also if they so I think if you're Warner, you're hoping for at least the increase in viewers to 800 to 900,000. But if the deal kind of stays at the same level of the 600,000 to 700,000 viewers that they're getting, I think Warner will definitely try to re-up with AEW, but I don't think AEW will see that increase. And then I think at this time, let's say AEW does another 3 years, Warner doesn't pick up the fourth-year option. I think Tony Khan will be looking at streaming platforms because he's going to see how WWE Raw is doing on Netflix and try to see if he can get on one of these streaming platforms where AEW is a premier thing on the streams. But I think Warner will try its best to keep AEW because I don't know what other sports Warner would go after at this time. Because like I said, they lost the NBA. They were outpriced. They weren't going to pay the $2.1 billion for the NBA. It's too much money for their own blood. They have some hockey. They have some baseball. They signed a contract with the Mountain West Conference for college football. That looks like a disaster right now because the Mountain West is going to implode. So what sport is going to come in and is Warner going to grab that will say like, oh, okay, like we got that one. What sport is that going to be? And that's something that will be interesting to look at in terms of like, do they try to, hitch the wagon on the WNBA popularity and try to say, you know what, we will become the official carrier of the WNBA. WNBA has a sweet deal with ESPN, but those media rights could come up soon, and the WNBA may be asking for a lot more money. And Warner might take the gamble on that because WNBA has been killing it on, the networks that they've been doing on. And, Caitlin Clark has proven to be a draw in terms of ratings. She got like 4.1 Nielsen rating for one of her games, which is very impressive in today's modern landscape. Really, if you think about it, only really top-end NFL games that are played at the 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and Sunday Night Football get those type of ratings. So do they hitch the wagon towards the WNBA if that becomes a thing in the future? So that's something to look at for sure. But I think Warner, they have a good relationship with AEW. And as long as the AEW is going strong, I think they will keep them. But I think what will happen is if AEW does increase the viewership, they might price themselves out of Warner because I don't think Warner's going to get out of the red anytime soon with this merger. I think it's going to be one of those things that's going to be rough, especially all the shows they produce and everything of that nature. It's going to be a rough ride for Warner Brothers Discovery. And if AEW, let's say they're making 700 something million for this deal, they're going to be pushing for, rightfully so, for 800 to 900 million for the next deal, maybe even that vaunted 1 billion. And that's something that I don't think Warner would want to pay for. I'm not saying AEW won't get that. I'm just saying Warner won't pay for that. Like that's why the Fox Sports scene is very important to them, because now they can build relationships outside of Warner. And let's just say Warner gets cold feet. They don't want to pay the price for AEW. It's like, hey, it's been a great 9 years, Tony Khan. Thank you so much for having us on there. And we're good. We're good. So
Exactly. We're good. You know what? No problem. You want to go talk to Fox? By all means, you have our blessing.
So WNBA is not even available. Thank you, Armand. That's something that is that's unfortunate for Warner because they need something they sports wise besides professional wrestling and stuff. Oh man, that's unfortunate for W. I thought for sure that maybe they'll find something. Maybe they'll try to sneak in a WNBA package somewhere. Maybe they'll pitch something like, "Hey, we'll get 2 games or something." So who knows? But yeah, I'm almost bet streaming is the future, and I think AEW is for sure paying attention to how this Netflix scene is going because for them. For the pickleball, Armand, that trend's already dying. That there's no way they'll keep
Call me late to the
pickleball.
party here, but explain pickleball here. Call me late to the party.
It's a unathletic tennis. So you like it's just tennis with a
Racket.
smaller smaller racket, smaller ball, smaller court. Like you can play pickleball, Steve. You don't have to be in the best shape. I've seen so many out of shape people play pickleball. It's
I
like the
win the gold.
funniest. It's
I
it's
win.
a
I bring home the gold medal. Then I bring home the gold
it's
medal.
the funniest thing ever. Like it's stuff like it, and it's funny too because they're like the best ones too. Like all the athletic motherfuckers get their asses kicked at pickleball. I remember me and my friend, her and I, and she's athletic. Like she's done volleyball. She's done like any sport under the sun. We got our asses kicked by these two middle aged old men in fucking pickleball, and I was all like, "Damn, dude! Like she's in great shape. I'm in okay shape, and we
Yeah.
couldn't even beat these fucking." beer belly beer belly
Oh,
dads. Yeah, so there's a technique to it, man.
oh man. Um. Also, I feel this FS1 deal may very well
Mhm.
be short lived. Fox has extremely high expectations on numbers.
Yeah, that's why I'm predicting that FS1, like the shockwave thing, it will be like a 1 year plus one deal where we'll
We'll see how
keep you
you do 1 year. We'll see how you
yeah,
do.
yeah, and then we'll pick it up. Like I just feel it's going to be one of those things. Shockwave, you're only on for a year, and then if you don't do good, tough luck. We're going to cut you, or if not, okay, we'll offer you another year, and we'll raise the rate just a little bit. You know, it's like that. It's like your bonus that your raise you're supposed to get every year at work because oh, you did such a good job. Let's give you a raise for all your hard work and stuff like that. So then later on, you get that 1 year raise for all your hard work and everything.
Yeah.
So it's just like, yeah, you know, like that's what Shockwave is going to be on. It's on the 1 year basis for Fox Sports because, like CPZ mentioned, and this is how Fox works. They can sign you to a 3 year deal. They can guarantee you 3 years for sure. Doesn't mean they're going to see through that 3 years. I mean, look at all the shows that have been canceled on FS1. You can look it up, and it's alarming how many shows have gone and
Oh,
canceled
I can
on
imagine.
FS1. Yeah,
I can imagine.
so like, but it's good for Tony Khan to get into the platform. You know, that's what I'm trying to say. It's good that Tony Khan is at least, you know, getting a show on there to build relationships. Look, as long as they pull like 200,000, I think they're good on FS1.
Yeah.
Which
And
is, you know,
also,
look at what SmackDown. What would happen to them when they would go to FS1? They would drop to like 900K. So
exactly. And then you hear the jokes. Oh, you see this? You see no milling for SmackDown. But um, at the end of the day, man, listen, again, this is a win for AEW. The fact that they're sticking around with Warner Brothers Discovery on a 4 year deal with like you said before, 3 guarantee, 1 optional. And again, man, just good for them, bro. Good for them. Um, Fans gotta stop comparing ratings with the attitude at a different time now. Entertainment is everywhere, not just one place anymore. That is true. And entertainment's everywhere nowadays. Um, but also let's move on here real quick. There's also discussions, as you know, Chase, next week. It is Grand Slam in Arthur Ashe Stadium. Um, I will be there. Walter will be there. Romy will be there. I know Tony's been begging us to get tickets like now because they're gonna
yeah,
sell
man, it might sell out. You guys might, like as he said, might look like fools and be
outside.
outside Arthur Ashe and not have a ticket.
Exactly. It's just crazy. So again, I'm looking at this car, bro, and it's just one of those things where it's like, man, to think where they were 3 years ago with the Grand Slam show, right? 21, like over 20,000 people in Arthur Ashe, and after each year it declined, and now you look at this year and it's like you barely got 5,000 people in the stadium that fits 20,000. You
Yeah,
know, it's kind of like I do think though, again, as of this moment, they probably already hit 5,000. They'll be shocked.
they did add one of the upper sections. They added the 200s because last time when after one of our streams, Romeo, Walter, and I, as Tony Khan also off the stream was pressuring them to buy tickets. We were looking, and it was only the 100 sections that were open, but the right side 200 sections opened up. So
Yeah.
that's good for them.
Jack and King Racer. Any wrestling stories? Y'all sick and tired of tired of wrestling covering. I'm over the Monday Night War stories like WCW, Montreal Screwjob, and ECW.
No, maybe the steroid trial. Like I'm just like
Yeah,
we all knew they did steroids. Like why do we have to like bring this conversation up every single time and stuff?
exactly.
I know the Vince documentary will cover it, but that's from Vince's perspective, so I'm cool with it. But yeah, probably like the steroid trial. Like I don't see how that like was such a black stain in the wrestling industry and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So
I
well,
also
it
want to
was
touch.
a black stain, but like I don't need to like hear it every single time, you know.
Oh, of course, yeah. Also, real quick, there's also reports that they might make the announcement regarding the TV and all that stuff by next week. But all we
Makes
know,
sense.
for all we know, it could be delayed as of this moment. So we don't know. Again, it's one of those things where you just get it. You wanted to get it over with, like yo, get it over with, make the announcement, so we can all move on and just enjoy what they have to offer as far as a product for fans and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think the thing is they want to just confirm the Shockwave show. I think it's because it looks a lot better when you can present everything all at once instead of having to like, oh, we announced the TV deal with Warner. Then like 3 weeks later, get ready to be shocked as AEW Shockwave comes on FS1, and then you're just like, well, why don't you just announce this? Like, did you not have it
Yeah.
confirmed? So I think they're waiting on that. I think the Warner one, it's literally just it's Steve. It's like Messi kicking a penalty kick. Just kick it, bro. You know you're gonna make it in. That's where it's at. While the Shockwave announcement is probably all right. We're moving up the pitch. We're passing it around. We're deking. We're just setting up for that goal. Like I think it's still in the setup stage. While the Warner deal is literally just Messi kick your penalty kick for the win or
Oh, of
and
course.
stuff like that. Yeah, that I put it in soccer references for Steve because he doesn't understand football. Man, your Jaguars not doing so well. They're 0-2.
Oh no, man. Tell
Are
me
you
about
are
it. How
you
about,
just bad luck? You become a fan of the team and they just suck?
oh no, man. The other day,
Steve,
Tony's team.
Steve, are you
The other day,
I know.
Tony's team was winning, man. They were winning us the other day. Fulham, I'm talking about here. I'm talking about Fulham.
Oh no, we
Um,
don't care about that, Steve. We're talking about your favorite football team, the Jack. Are you watching their Monday night game, Steve? They're playing a big Monday night game against the Bills.
is that the 7 p.m., 7-ish p.m. game or the
Yeah,
8?
that's a 7 p.m. game. You
What
during Steve's kitchen, you can be watching the game.
now? Is this normal though that they on a Monday they'll do 2 games randomly, or is it like is there a reason
Yeah,
for
yeah,
that?
it's normal. It's sometimes it's just so the way it will work is this. So that when the NFL signed their new deal with ESPN, ESPN obviously owned by ABC as well. ABC also wanted some Monday Night Football games. So this is so that way ESPN gets a Monday Night Football game, but then also ABC gets a Monday Night Football
God,
game, and it's just one of those things where also too no teams are on bye weeks. Bye weeks don't happen until later, and you don't want to stack the Sunday morning and the Sunday afternoon too much because normally the Sunday morning slate is like 7 to 8 games. Sunday afternoon, 3 to 4 games. Your Sunday night game, but this one it was just so big that they were just like, okay, we can spread it around and stuff. And those games probably weren't claimed by the networks, so the afternoon games tend to get claimed by networks. Sometimes the morning games, but some networks will be like, we want the Cowboys game at 1 p.m. CBS will claim their game, and NBC will get to claim their game that they want, and then everything else. So, but yeah, they'll do it one more time this season.
yeah,
I believe one more time besides like the holidays where they do it a
I
lot. So
I agree with it too. I wish they announced Brian was cleared by yesterday on Dynamite for next week. Yeah, I agree with that too. So we'll get into
oh,
this. We'll
Armand,
get into
they're building suspense. Aren't you excited,
exactly,
man? You get to
exactly.
wait and see. The whole point is you're paying to see if Dragon will show up.
An American dragon. We're not talking Jake Long either. We're not talking Jake Long. We're talking Brian Danielson. You know, um, but again, I'm looking at this card, man. Come on, hold up. Can we get the match graphic too? The match graphic, the show graphic. Remember they promoted it on social media.
Yeah, you can just Google it.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, I'm gonna get it right now. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him. Got him. Here we go. Oh, this is crappy quality from Wikipedia. What are we doing, Wikipedia? This shitty ass quality, but fuck it. It'll just do. It will do. And then what I'm gonna do here is I apologize for the quality here, but this Wikipedia, okay? Um just keep that in mind, folks, as we're doing this. So that was the graphic they promoted, right? For a hot
Mhm.
minute. It's both Dynamite and Collision.
Are you saying for
Now,
both, Steve? Are you gonna say for Collision? Are you a Collider one night
well,
only?
what I think they're gonna probably do is the formula that they did last year, where from the 7 p.m. hour till 8 p.m. they'll film like 1 hour of, let's say, Rampage. Right at the time it was Rampage, and then at the 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. hour they'll film the rest of Rampage, so people don't have to like leave and get up from their seats and all that shit. So that's probably what they're gonna probably do.
I noticed they're not promoting Rampage. Do you think,
It's
Steve,
can't
you're gonna watch your Ring of Honor live? You're gonna be watching Ring of Honor at Grand Slam?
could very well be, could very
Wow.
well be. But I'm looking at this right. What do I see here? Bro? I see Mercedes Moné.
Mm,
I see MJF. I see Swerve Strickland. I see Timeless Tony Storm. Mind you, the show is next week. Do you see them advertise in a match or anything of that nature? No.
no,
What are we? And
no
again,
matches.
MJF is a New York guy, right? Long Island, New York. You would think, hey, he would definitely be there. Just give me a sec, all right, bro? My grandma's calling. Just give me a sec, brother. My
Oh,
bad.
no worries about that. Yeah, you would think that they would have these wrestlers on the card, but they don't, and it's kind of a bummer that they don't have these superstars, these talents on the card. But they decided to promote it that way, and it is what it is. Steve left me, and I can't even show you guys the thing anymore, and I don't have the access to pull up your comments. Um, let's see. Jogon King says, any stories you want covered, I would definitely like documentaries about TNA at its peak from 2002 to like 2013. A lot of guys are still alive to tell it. I would love the story of Brock Lesnar in New Japan being told. That would be a good story to be
Oh, for
told,
sure.
just like
Oh,
everything that he did and stuff. And I think that'd be funny. CPZ, I don't know if you're trolling, but he said card is fire. IMO best Grand Slam card,
I
and
mean,
he's
this
saying
graphic,
Rampage
yeah.
is canceled.
This graphic, yeah, I believe, yeah. This graphic looks fire. I mean, again, when you see this, bro, like again, if I didn't, know what the card was, if I went in, like what I'm seeing Mercedes Moné, I'm gonna see MJF, I'm gonna see Tony Storm, I'm gonna be able to do the swerve dance, the Prince Nana as he walks down to the ring.
Do the
No,
swerve, Dick. Do the swerve. Top rope, catch a vibe, big pressure, I'm a vibe, cause I swerve when I drive, cause I swerve when I drive. If it beat me, want your life. Pedal to the metal on Red Bull.
you get what I'm saying,
Wings, no Red Bull.
but you
Acto bow to the pedal man.
just
I'm
water here,
ahead of you.
just
Quap
water
to the
here.
rope with a hit.
Take MJF and swerve here, Danielson and Nigel instead. But
And
again,
I ain't selling no tickets, Romeo.
uh, but yeah, man, I'm like, what are we doing here, man? What is this, man? I'm taking the train, Armand. I'm taking for as of right now, me, Romeo, and Walter, we're gonna
We don't have
basically
tickets.
we're basically gonna
Hold up.
we're planning all day. We're having the whole. Is he on?
Yeah,
Is he upset? Is he upset? By the way, did he hear what Paul said too? By the way, did he hear what Paul said on Monday?
Tony, you got to come on. He still doesn't have tickets. Why are you screaming at me? I've been telling him to get tickets. Okay, you want to come on just for 5 minutes? Yeah, I
Is he
know
really
it's very.
screaming?
I
Put him on speaker.
I know you're very busy. You're trying to watch the Thursday. Yeah, I'm sorry. Why are you yelling at me, Tony? I did nothing wrong. I told him to get the tickets.
Chase, how loud is he?
He's pretty loud to me, but ladies and gentlemen, joining us now and not very happy with Steve is the AEW CEO president, who also had a great Fox Sports 1 documentary, by the way. Very, very much adored that, Tony Khan. Very good stuff there. President of Fulham Analytics and kind of GM of the Jaguars, Mr. Tony Khan. Tony, how are you?
Steve, I'm very disappointed in you right now, man. I'm disappointed that you guys do not have tickets to AEW Grand Slam. You should buy them right now. Steve, go on Ticketmaster right now. Go on Ticketmaster right now and show the great fans the prices that are going on with Grand Slam after I leave. Once I leave, you'll see the prices and you cannot believe what is available. And you'll say, wow, we got to get these tickets before they're sold out. I cannot believe you would not want to watch this card with Jon Moxley taking on Darby Allin, which has been very heated as of late. And they're going for Darby Allin's AEW world title opportunity that he won at the Royal Rampage not so long ago. And then not only that, we got a great matchup, a great matchup between the Young Bucks taking on Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher, the United Empire. We have Yuka Sakazawa taking on the Glamour Mariah May for the. You know who she is, Steve. Don't play this Snoop Dogg.
You said it wrong.
Steve, I'm
say
so
right.
heated. Steve,
say it right. Say it
don't
right.
Don't worry how I say it. Don't worry how I say
Yuka
it. Okay?
Sakazaki.
No, yeah, whatever. Steve, don't tell me how to pronounce my talents' names. Okay, I know what the fuck I'm saying. And then the potential return of the American Dragon. We don't even know if he's cleared yet. I haven't even got a doctor's note for him yet, man. To see if he can take on his bitter rival, Nigel McGuinness. Guys, if you haven't already, if you live in the New York area, heck, even if you don't live in New York, you should buy tickets to AEW Grand Slam today. All right, guys, I gotta leave. I got a lot of important stuff that I need to take care of.
Mr. Kyle, before you go, though, I think we can all agree when it's all said and done, with AEW Dynamite Grand Slam, people are going to be saying this, man.
We should win awards for this show tonight. We'll never win a fucking award for this show ever, but we should win an award for this show tonight.
We will win awards. We're not like Power Slap where we won't win any awards. We're going to win awards. Trust me, Steve.
Well, let's see. But yeah, I'm looking at the site. Oh, for whatever reason, when I go on Ticketmaster, it just crashes on me. I don't know what's going on. We'll figure it out.
Because people are buying the tickets, Steve. See, that's what I'm telling you. You got to buy tickets because Ticketmaster is crashing because people are buying tickets for Grand Slam.
Don't worry, Mr. Khan. We'll be there. And if not, I'll hit up a good friend, Will.
Okay, Steve, that joke is not funny. I don't like that joke whatsoever. It's very insulting. But anyway, thank you guys for having me. I do not want to comment on anything else. I got a lot of stuff I need to take care of. It's going to be a good picture, man. Come on, Steve. I'm not, there we go. Anyways, that cup is so cheap. We got to get better cups. But anyways, I got to go. Thank you so much for having me. Sorry, Chase, for yelling at you. I just got angry at Steve and Romeo and Walter. They don't have tickets to the biggest show in New York. Sorry, I forgive you, man. Chase, you should buy a ticket.
I look forward to the big Tony. I look forward to the big game coming up. I look forward to the big game, man. I look forward to it, man. Should be a good one.
We need this win, Steve. Otherwise, we're 0-3. Not good.
I'm talking about Fulham versus Newcastle coming up. You guys in Craven Cottage. It's a big game coming up. You guys got to win.
Well, Steve, I'm more focused on the NFL right now, and you're not doing your job. You haven't watched one Jaguars game, which is very insulting me.
You guys have now signed one good player to Fulham, man. You guys should be clinching for Europe next season.
It's hard, Steve.
It's hard. May I remind you right now, Mister? Let me look at this table right now. You have West Ham. What are you guys? You guys are 14th. You guys in 12th place. You have Bournemouth above you guys. You have Brentford. What are we doing, Mr. Khan? Come on.
The talent is different right now in soccer. It's one of those harder sports to do with transfers and loans and everything of that nature. It's not easy, man. Look, I know you play your FIFA and I think you could do a better job than me, but even my dog thinks you're stupid, Steve. See, he barked at you saying, "Shut up." That's pretty mean. The dog's barking at you.
Pretty mean, Tony. Pretty mean. Now we were gonna get the whole VIP experience. But we'll see. We'll see, Mr. Khan. We'll see. Thank you for the time, Mr. Khan. Oh, by the way, Mr. Khan, you didn't happen to listen to what Paul said, right?
I don't watch Raw Rundown. I don't watch that show. It's not a show I would watch.
You see the Cardi you hear about the Cardi he's building up for the next he said follow that, but that's not here or there, Mr. Khan.
Well, it's probably not a good card. My card is already superior.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mr. Khan. Thank you for the time, and you have a good one.
Wait,
Ladies and gentlemen,
why does he want me to buy a ticket? I don't even live in New York. Like Tony, what's the sense of me buying a ticket if I can't even go to the show?
Well, Chase, you would show a lot of support to All Elite Wrestling if you buy a ticket. Maybe you can take a plane flight. And
Tony, flying to New York is that costs more than the fucking ticket. Why the hell would I fly out to New York?
well, I'm just suggesting, maybe if you want to take a holiday,
Tony, there's no such thing as holidays, man.
Tony, I know folks. Tony, I know people who will definitely fly hours from the other states to go to your show every year. So don't worry, Tony. You'll see some people there, Mr. Khan, for sure.
Yeah, Chase. Maybe you should. I don't think you would want to miss this card, Chase. Like
Tony, if I'm going to fly out to a show, it would most likely be Wrestle Dream. I don't think I would fly out to New York. I'd fly to Washington, go to the Tacoma Dome, and go to Wrestle Dream.
So you're gonna go to Wrestle Dream?
Oh well, no, not really. But I'm saying if I were to,
so why did you say that you would fly out for Wrestle Dream, but you're not?
You got me there, Tony. I don't know.
There you go, Armand. Tony, buy Chase a plane ticket, and he would go to Grand Slam.
Well, that's probably a lot of money, and I don't want to spend money for Chase to go. I mean, you guys got to support me. I support you guys for pretty much free 99. You might as well support me by going to my show.
Oh, in the mud, Mr.
Yeah, wow. Billionaire can't afford a plane ticket for me. I
know Paul would. I know Paul would afford a private jet.
Yeah, Tony, what happened? You hooked us up with a room up in Excalibur not too long ago. Now, where's the love now? There's no love anymore. What's this? You can't even give me a plane ticket.
Dare I even say, if he's still in play, I even think Scott would have hooked us up with a plane ticket, if you will, for the other show. Scott.
I was like, who the fuck you thought?
Yeah, I even got lost what Steve was saying. He said Scott. I was thinking Scott Steiner. I'm like, well, when you guys have Scott Steiner on the show, that'd be very funny for having Scott Steiner on the show and stuff.
Wait, Steve, what Grand Slam is next Saturday?
Yeah, it's next Wednesday, Chase. It's a Dynamite.
Well, technically it's a Collision too, Tony.
Yeah, whatever.
So my plane ticket, Tony, if I were to fly there, first of all, it's like $314, and I'd be flying on Spirit, and I would literally arrive at 1:07 p.m. New York time.
Yeah, see,
and then I would have to also pay for the other round trip portion. So it makes no sense for me, Tony, to buy a ticket for $40, which is the price for the cheapest seats,
and
then spend closeware to $500 just to hang out with Steve and Romeo and Walter for a day. If I were to do that, I would want to hang out with them for like a week.
And also, Mr. Khan, will you hook us up with John George restaurant a tasting menu? Would you hook us up with that?
Well, Steve, no, I can't.
What do you mean you can't? Oh, in the mud,
Steve, you guys are so demanding. I come on for free 99, and you guys are asking for so much, like a plane ticket. And I'm not scared of Paul. Get out of here. I made Paul book Jinder Mahal in a match. People seem to forget that earlier this year.
You're right there, Tony.
TK's fucked up. Tony, you pay for wrestlers plane tickets that you don't use on Dynamite and Collision. Hashtag in the mud.
Oh, they're talented that I'm paying. I'm not paying Chase anything.
He's one of your top talent for ATP Gaming. Come on,
that's different.
Yeah, man. I don't even know if I want to wrestle Seth Rollins anymore at ATP Gaming. I think I'm good, Tony. Actually, my elbow still hurts, man. So I don't know if I could be able to show up to ATP.
No, you're wrestling, Chase, because at AEW injuries don't hold you back. This is where the best wrestle. What an injury holds the best athlete in the world back.
Well, I see on the NFL almost every week players don't play because they're hurt. So, yeah, I do think so.
Well, not here, man.
Oh man.
Yeah, what's wrong with Spirit Airlines? I think Spirit is a good airline for people that just need a cheap flight. That's a cheap flight, Chase. That's really a cheap flight.
Spirit Airlines.
I've flown Spirit. I don't hate Spirit that much, so
I see it every day.
I might have to fly the plane one day, but
So
Okay, we're not going to sell the Jaguars. That's ridiculous. We bought them almost like 10 years ago. So no, we're not going to sell them. That makes no sense. We'll sell them once we make a lot of money off of them. That's when we'll sell them. But we love the Jaguars. My dad loves the Jaguars. Even though we're 0-2, we're going to bounce back, Steve. We're going to watch the game on Monday, right?
Oh yeah, for sure, man. For sure, man. Like, guaranteed to win, man. You got to get the win. No more fucking around, Mr. Khan.
Yeah. Can you name me 3 Jaguars football players?
What was that?
3 Jaguars football players.
Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, he's so great. Isn't he the best quarterback in the NFL?
Well, it's a matter of opinion.
Who do you think the best is then, Steve?
Well, I think he's currently the gold champion right now, Pat Mahomes.
Oh, come on, man. Trevor's better than Pat.
Christian Kirk. There you go.
He gave you that one. You don't even know what position he plays.
Isn't he in the offense? Isn't he in the offense? I could be wrong on that. I could be wrong.
He is an offensive player, so I give you props on that.
All righty, Mr. Khan. All righty. Can you name me 3 Fulham players, Mr. Khan? 3 Fulham players.
Oh, Steve, you know I don't pay attention to Fulham when it's AEW and football season.
You should, man. You got a big game coming up against Newcastle. Just saying.
Yeah, and the people that I have in charge there will pay attention to the roster that I have in place, but I know it's a good one. I know we're going to bounce back.
Can you name 3 of your transfers to Fulham this season, Mr. Khan?
Well, you can't even name me football players, so why the hell would I name you any of my transfers?
You should know this.
Yeah, you should know your players on the Jacksonville Jaguars.
All righty, Mr. Khan.
I know Bertolino, he's going to stop everyone from getting the goals.
Okay, Mr. Khan. Okay.
Harrison Reed, he's a good midfielder, great defense.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. And of course, it should be a good game, Mr. Khan, coming up, man. It should be a good game, man.
Marco Silva will lead us the way, Steve.
Marco Silva. Could very well be.
Steve.
I think you're gonna say Raul Jimenez, but be that as it may. Mr. Khan, what match do you think are people going to be looking more forward to this next Wednesday at a Grand Slam?
Well, Steve, I think every match is going to be a home run at Grand Slam. So it's going to be a true Grand Slam card. But I think a lot of people, they're going to have interest in that tag team title match. I think it's going to be one of the best tag team matches you'll ever see in AEW history.
For certain. All right, Mr. Khan. Anything else you want to add before?
Yeah. I better hear you talk about the Monday night game, Steve.
Oh, for sure. Don't worry, Mr. Khan. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it for sure.
Man, Tony, your dog's pissed at you, man. That's crazy.
I know, right? I never thought an animal.
You should go take it for a walk, Tony.
All right, guys. Well, I'll see you guys later. Chase, I'll see you in New York. I'm not going to New York, Tony. Well, I'll see you there, man. I know you're going to show up and you're going to show out, and everyone in the ATP is going to show up, and it's going to be a great time. Make sure you buy your tickets. As Steve mentioned, the website is crashing, so which means these tickets are selling out, man.
I think it's crashing more for the Aventura concert, but that's no here or there, Mr. Khan. Thank you for the time, Mr. Khan.
Wow.
There he is, y'all. There. Oof, I know, right? But
He's crazy. He wants me to fly to New York. The hell?
I know, right? But let's look at this card real quick. Before we do, they announced yesterday on Dynamite that you're not gonna get this next week coming up. You'll get it the week after that. You'll get it on the 5th anniversary show, Ricochet versus Will Ospreay for the International Championship. Look, they're gonna have a good match. They're gonna kill it. I just feel like this is rushed for my liking. I get it. It's the 5th year anniversary, so there's a special thing there, and I get that. But to me, it's like you could have waited for this match, in my opinion. Do you feel the same way, Chase, or is it like,
just get it out of the way? We know it's going to happen eventually. Why wait until October, the following weekend for Wrestle Dream? If anything, it's fine. Because here's my thing. One of the things I feel like is missing from Dynamite. Back in the day, they would do stuff like this where the pay-per-views weren't only like the most important shows. Nowadays, they just wait on everything. I like that we're getting this match as soon as possible. I will say this though. This should have been on Grand Slam.
It should have been. Absolutely.
This tag team title match that you had in mind should have been on the 5th year anniversary.
Oh,
That's just me. That's just me. I would have just flip-flopped them around. But other than that, no, I'm fine. I'm fine with them not waiting. I'm sorry, Ospreay and Ricochet. It's not a. We've seen it already when they were both younger and they were both more athletic. Now they're both kind of still really good. They're older. They're still good in the ring, but it's not going to be the same quality that we remember from years ago. It could be a better quality match, but I think Ramon said it best. They'll do the old match ends in a draw, and then we will have the rematch at Wrestle Dream. And then it's like, okay, cool. You gave us the better match on Dynamite, and then you expect me to pay $50 for the lesser match.
I will say this is probably opening the show. This is definitely opening the show next 2 weeks from now at the 5th anniversary show from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania at the Peterson Event Center. That's an all-in match. That's an all-in Texas caliber match. Why free TV? I ain't complaining. I do think also factor in they just like I talked about on Kitchen regarding Nigel and Brian. You need people to buy tickets, and this is one of the you go to this show, you're gonna get this match, and hopefully it pays off as well. Hopefully it does, but also regarding Grand Slam, you do have this for the tag team titles, right? You have Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay. Kyle Fletcher, who did get a pin on on the Young Bucks last night in the trios main event. So there's some momentum there, but I just don't see the Young Bucks losing the tag titles at Grand Slam. Do you feel the same way, Chase? Or
yeah, like as much as I would love to place $20 on Hollywood Will Ospreay bruv becoming a double champ and winning the tag team titles, I don't see the Young Bucks, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson losing in this situation. Maybe they win by a DQ or something, but it's going to be a really good match. I think I agree with Tony when he said that was the match everyone should be looking forward to. I think that's going to be a good match.
Of course. Also on the show, this was announced literally yesterday. I think CP is talking about this match right here. Mariah May, the glamour Mariah May, defending her AEW Women's Championship against Yuka Sakazaki.
Yeah, this is a throwaway.
This is just like, okay, listen, you guys know it's no secret. I love Mariah May. It's no secret. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I would have considered a different opponent. This whole talk about her wanting Mina Shirakawa, right? She's been talking about Mina these last couple of weeks. I know Mina did a video on Dynamite yesterday. I'm thinking, okay, maybe she'll be in New York. Maybe they'll do the match there or something, or maybe it's just Mina eventually joining forces with Mariah May. Yeah. But again, this is just a random match to put for the sake of it. And then think about it too. Do y'all really think Yuka Sakazaki has a chance here?
Yeah,
she's gonna lose here.
Stat padding match. Like when you need to pad the stats a little bit. Say like, oh, Mariah May's defended that title 3 times now, and then you're just like, wait, against she has? Yeah, against who? Yeah, there's. I know Chief said, "Where's Jamie Hayter?" They're obviously saving Jamie Hayter for like Full Gear World's End type of match with Mariah May. They're not gonna do that. They should, but like I said, Tony Khan's now in the we're gonna build stuff up, wait, take time mode. Like he's heard too many people on the internet like these matches are happening for no reason. And, instead of doing what he did that led AEW to be a success, is having great matches every single week that made you feel like, wow, this is like watching a pay-per-view every week. He has gone into, I got to build stories. Otherwise, people say I don't have stories. But I don't know. That's a whole nother topic. But,
Yeah, exactly. But Steve doesn't watch women's wrestling. I mean, come on, I'll be there for it. I mean, listen, fun little fact. Romeo's in the chat. He can attest to this. During the Rampage taping last year, during the Sky Blue match, people were leaving, and I had to call them out. Where y'all going? Why y'all leaving? So there's that too. Also on the show, of course, you do have this because we were supposed to get originally Darby Allin versus Bryan Danielson for the world title. Darby Allin did win the Royal Rampage match a while back now, right? And everyone thought, okay, him and Bryan is going to happen. But now, because Bryan did get hurt, he got injured at All Out, right, by John Moxley and all that stuff. It's like, what's going to happen? Are they going to insert, we've seen this before, right? Insert the interim world title, right? Nah, we're not even doing that. It's going to be Darby Allin and John Moxley, where Darby's defending his title shot.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been enjoying the John Moxley new character with the Blackpool Combat Club, right? How everyone turned on Bryan. It's like this new faction and shit. It's more menacing. It's more threatening.
Yeah.
This feels like a takeover than what the Young Bucks were trying to do a while back when they did the tombstone on Tony Khan a while back. Remember? This feels like the takeover, if you will, angle that every wrestling company tries to do, right? And this should be a fine match, but here's the thing: do you have Darby beat John Moxley now that Moxley?
No way. Moxley just came back. Like I honestly feel Darby. There was that report they were thinking about making him AEW World Heavyweight Champion, and I think maybe there was something where they're just like, we finally got Moxley back. Do we want to ruin it? And also, too, like, I get it, the Washington versus Washington thing, but I feel Moxley's a bigger threat to take the title from Danielson than a Darby Allin at this point in time. And I think Darby Allin and John Moxley, this could be a feud that can go into 2025. Let's say if Mox does become AEW World Champion again, and it'd be an interesting mountain. I know Darby Allin wanted to climb Mount Everest. Well, can you climb Mount Moxley first and become world champion? So that could be a story that they could tell, and it could be a good one as they try to build up, because I do think Darby, he has to be one of the favorites to win the AEW World Championship in 2025 besides Will Ospreay. Like, I don't think there's anyone else in the company that, like, besides those two that are favorites. Maybe Jack Perry, because Tony Khan's like, I made him. I made him to a star. Screw that footage that we showed,
That's very. This is a valid point here too. I find it weird. Darby has a contract for the world title. So does Christian Cage. He's calling himself the new future AEW World Champion. We saw that yesterday as well.
I have a sad feeling Christian's not going to be a successful cash in. I think that's when finally Kill Switch betrays him.
Or you think you know him, comes out and I know. If Bryan was clear yesterday for next week, I would go 100%. Well, Armand, I'm glad you mentioned that, because we all thought Bryan would be out. He'd be, not be wrestling on the show, but that seems like it's a lie. It is going to happen. It will be, if Bryan is cleared to wrestle, and I'm using quotation marks here, if he's cleared, right? Right. It will be the AEW World Champion, Bryan Danielson, versus his arch rival, Nigel McGuinness, his longtime rival from Ring of Honor. I know AEW posted on their YouTube channel this 11-hour video showcasing the matches of Nigel McGuinness, but you guys should go and rewatch if you have not.
See, pull out the DVD.
It's somewhere now, but
you had the DVD ready when Romeo was clowning you, and now you don't have the DVD. What happened? You were watching it earlier or something? You watched it a little bit earlier?
Probably. I don't recall, but hold that thought. You know what? You're right.
Yeah, come on, Steve. Biggest
Throw-
Nigel
throw-
McGuinness fan there is.
Throw off the spot.
Yeah. CPZ, you should. If Tony Khan was here, he would tell you, you should probably watch that video, CPZ. I can't do a good Tony Khan, as you guys know. I do horrible impressions. No, I don't have any good impressions in my bag. They're always just so horrible. So Desmond Wolf versus Kurt Angle, legendary matches, as CPZ would say. Those were legendary. You get your ghetto booty in the lane, because I'm going to kick it. Let me say that to Jay Lethal.
Okay, here we go. I got him right here, man. Yeah, I remember that segment. So I do have 2 Nigel DVDs. I do have.
Oh, look at this. Get the 2 Nigel DVDs.
Because the other one just got lost when I moved. So.
Oh, were you crying?
The one him crying in his car. Yeah, the last of McGuinness. That's
were you crying?
Nah.
What?
So
You just how much was the DVD now?
This one?
No, the DVD that you lost.
Probably like $15 probably.
Oh,
but I bought it. But yeah, this one right here though, this is the Nigel McGuinness a ROH career retrospective. Basically, it's a compilation of all his matches from before he left.
Damn.
And then you also have this one, Nigel McGuinness in it to win it. If you notice there, signed by Nigel McGuinness.
Oh yeah, you're very happy. Was he happy that you had that, Steve?
Yeah. I bought it the day of the event. I bought it. So when I met him,
you bought it the day of?
Day of the event. Yeah, I bought it. Matter of fact, no, if I remember correctly, no, I take that back. I bought this a while back. So when it was the Ring of Honor show WrestleMania weekend, I had him sign it.
What did he say? Was he like, "Oh, look, I like that you have my DVD"?
Oh, thank you, mate. Appreciate it, mate. Appreciate it. I can't do a Nigel impression to save my life.
But did he like it? Was he happy you had the DVD?
Yeah, he was happy. And also, he knew someone that I know, so I just mentioned his name. Oh, that Folky Wanka. Yeah, I know. Yeah. So there was that. I mean, other than that, listen, again, if you have not watched any of his matches from back in the day, even this time in TNA when he was Desmond Wolf, go back and rewatch it. There's clips, there's stuff like that. If you're not familiar with his work, look, there's a history there, right? Some would argue that, Nigel is Bryan's greatest rival of all time, right? Depends who you talk to as well. That being said, it's obvious why they're doing this. It's quite obvious.
Yeah.
They need people to buy tickets to the show. And if there's anywhere you're going to do this for a market, in any market, yeah, you do this in New York. You're not going to do this in, let's say, Lexington, Kentucky, where they were last week. You're not going to do this in like freaking random town, Alabama. This is going to be in New York. You know what I'm saying? So your thoughts, Chase, on the match and just everything about Nigel making his return. We know he returned at All In, but this time this is a one-on-one match. His first one-on-one match is 2012, I believe.
I think it's cool nostalgia for those who watched Ring of Honor and want to, see Danielson and McGuinness one last time. So that's cool nostalgia. I agree with you. I do think it's just to, you're going to New York. You want to try to sell some tickets. That's a great way to sell some tickets is Nigel McGuinness and Bryan Danielson. They're also adding some WWE drama to this. Will Danielson be cleared? This is not very AEW of them to, add normally they like their ice cream vanilla. They're adding the sprinkles this time. They're adding some chocolate chips to this shit. Yeah. They're adding the condiments to this. They're adding some drama.
In the mint leaf on top. There you go.
Yeah, they're adding some drama to this. So I'm cool with it. They obviously, this is probably the weaker of the Grand Slam builds. Grand Slam kind of came at a weird time because All In, All Out, and then afterwards it's like, oh yeah, by the way, Grand Slam's happening, so you should probably pay attention to that. So yeah, when it comes down to that, All In, All Out, Grand Slam, it just came too close together. It was like too smushed in together, timing wise. And Grand Slam is like a Dynamite show, but normally it feels more important. This one definitely is just like, hey, let's just get a nostalgia match, a good match for Bryan Danielson, one that doesn't harm Darby Allin from losing a match. Because let's be real, Danielson beats Darby Allin. It's not like Darby's never going to get that win back because Danielson's full-time career is done when he loses the world title, and Danielson will not be world champion at that point in time. So, yeah, I personally am fine with the match. Doesn't bug me whatsoever. You know, it's a Dynamite. It's not like freaking like this is what I want Dynamite to have is matches that are quality enough to be on pay-per-view, but I'm not paying the pay-per-view price for the match. So,
yeah, exactly. And I think again, when Nigel makes the walk to the ring, people are going to react. It's going to get a pop, and I do feel like, you know, again, it's nostalgia. Now, can they both go at the way they were going back in the day? We'll see. I think honestly, they're just gonna play the hits from what they used to do. So it should be a good match. I think obviously Brian does get the win, but this is also if you want to be, you know, technical with it, right? People will say, but there's a story here, right? Nigel for a year and change has been just trolling Brian on commentary.
mm-hmm.
Calling him a brittle Brian, right? Brittle Brian, the American wine and all that shit. So cannot wait. I can't believe this is even like you. If you were to show me this graphic, I would thought Tom Custom just made this to fuck around with people.
Yeah,
but this is legit. This is legit.
And look, if McGinnis really only has like a few matches left in his like gas tank to wrestle, I'm glad they're choosing the Bryan Danielson match. I'm cool with that. So
I think also, yeah, with the talks of Brian, you know, again, his winding it down, you gotta you know, if there's any time to do it now. You know, so I know I know there was discussion that they were planning to do it at Wembley a while back, and it just didn't happen, obviously, because Brian won the title and Nigel ended up in the gauntlet match. But the story there, bro, again, you know, these two guys who left Ring of Honor at the same time, they're supposed to both end up in WWE. Brian went, obviously, and had the career that he did. Nigel, on the other hand, you know, again, because of an injury, it didn't happen. And he ended up where he was. And there's a story, there's a drama to it. So it should be a good match. Again, I will be there. Romy will be there. Walter will be there. If you see us at the show, say what's up. If you like, what have you. But nonetheless, I think this is about that time we put a bow on this. Also, wait, one more thing before we wrap this up here. There's discussions as well. This is WWE related real quick, but SmackDown is moving to 3 hours. They would give it an extra hour on USA Network when Raw moves to Netflix in 2000.
Who reported this?
WrestleVotes Radio.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Me too. I'll believe it.
Like, look, there are certain reports that you have to believe to see. Look, I know WrestleVotes is like this. WrestleVotes is like a streaky basketball player. Sometimes he's hot. Then other times, he ain't shooting from the field so good. So I'll wait till the bigger names say this and stuff because it would be stupid for them to move it to 3 hours on a Friday unless they're moving nights. 3 hours on a Friday makes no sense. No sense. But yeah, Steve, I actually got to go feed my dogs. They're getting restless, as you can tell. They've been fucking playing and doing all sort of bullshit during the stream. Always calm as fuck when I'm not doing fucking anything. The minute I'm like, I have a phone interview on the stream, they act like fucking maniacs and stuff. So sorry, guys, for all the loudness in the background and
for sure.
They're just being little dicks right now. So love them, but for whatever reason, whenever I do streams, they go, oh, I gotta be an asshole. The owner's not watching his true crime documentaries. Like, fuck him.
But yeah, the rating we mentioned before, the rating came out 687,000. But for all time sakes, like Barry the Buzzer would say, no Millie. No Millie. Well, much love to all you guys.
Lazy.
No problem,
Jay. Thank you guys. Trio Heat Sports. We're going to be watching Jets Patriots. So join us there.
There you go, brother. Much love to all you guys. That's gonna be it for me. Thanks to Chase for tuning in as well. Follow him on X at Chase Oliver 68. Again, you guys are awesome as always. If you have not checked out the other content that we put here on the channel, this literally this week alone. On Tuesday we did a Raw rundown. We talked about the New Day, and looks like there's some trouble in paradise. And also on Steve's Kitchen this past Monday, we talked about Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. Can they coexist and all that stuff? So Go give that a watch whenever you get a chance. But that's going to be it for me. You guys can follow the Around the Point Network over on X at AT Network. Follow me on X at Heel Steven. WrestleVotes is also reporting Raw going back to 3 hours in January. Yeah, that's also the discussion as well. But that's going to be it for me. Thank you all for watching. Much love to all of you. All right. For myself, for Chase, for Tony, this has been something. Well, not even something about that. This has been a little ATP extra for you guys. The new TV deal. Much love to all of you. We'll see you guys.
No, Millie!
Thank you. Fuck you. Bye.